Welcome, this is session number 9. In this session, we are going to learn about object properties and how to manipulate an object. I have a text box, a picture of a cow, and a clip art of a crocodile. Every time we select an object or a text box, we get 4 handles that allow us to change the shape and size of the object. We can distort it by unlocking the perspective ratio. I always prefer that to be locked. And similarly, we get 4 handles to change the size, 1 handle to rotate, and then an accelerator menu. The accelerator menu gives us additional choices to manipulate the object. Point to note is you can access the accelerator menu 2 ways. When you have a clip art or an object where the accelerator menu goes off the page, then you can select the object and just right-click in the box to access the accelerator menu. The menu is slightly different for text. It's expanded because it gives you additional choices of convert to text, read this text, and then a spell checker. The accelerator menu allows us to cut, copy, paste the object, make a duplicate of the object, or allows us to change the transparency of the object. In addition to these 5 choices, we have a bunch of choices going vertically down. The first choice is lock, unlock selected objects. If you want to lock an object in place, you would lock it. You can click this to allow horizontal movement only. Click on vertical movement to just get your vertical movement. You can unlock that object after you've locked it, or you can lock and clone selected objects. So now this locks the cow in place, but I can pull as many cows as I want, or I've cloned the cow. This can be very helpful when we are doing money and counting money. How many different ways to make 20 cents? There could be a good money problem. This cow is cloned, so I will have to select this cow and undo the lock and clone, so I'm going to unlock it. So that will undo the cloning. We can group selected objects. If I wanted to group them so that I can always move them together, then I would group the selected object. That way now I can move all 3 of them at the same time. If I need to ungroup it, I'm going to go back and ungroup it. If you need to align the objects, if you see every object has a selection box. So that's the top edge of the object. Bottom edge, left edge, and right edge. So when I select 3 objects or more than 1 object, and then I need to align them, I can align them left, center, to the right, align their tops, and so on. We can distribute it horizontally. It's not so obvious right now, but let's say we have 3 objects and they're not evenly placed. Then I could distribute it horizontally so that the space between each object is relatively equal. Similarly, you can distribute it vertically. Object reflection allows us to reflect the object on an axis. It could be above, below, left, or to the right. So that reflects the object below and so on. So if I just select the cow, I can go back to object ordering and send it to back. Actions. we can explore the actions when we go into special effects. But again, the special effects menu can be accessed through the accelerator menu. We can add an object to the scrapbook. This is a very good feature. Once I add this object to the scrapbook, it is like putting it on the clipboard. The only advantage is I can have multiple objects. So if in my entire lesson, I'm going to use this cow and this text box repeatedly over several pages, I would add them to the scrapbook. So that way, no matter what page I go to, I have access to them. So if I go to a new page and I need to pull my crocodile or my text box or my cow. So that's the benefit of the scrapbook. It's basically it's multiple clipboards where you can copy and leave it in there to access it on a different page. Add to Media Bank adds it to the Media Bank. Media Bank is basically a collection of illustrations, audio, interactive photos, and video. So we can add it to this bank. And you can set it as a background. Once you do that, the cow is now my background and it's not an object anymore. I can undo that. Once you have selected text, you can convert this text box to regular text. What that will do is when you try to now edit this text, it will become a text as in a Word document. It loses the box. Now I can go back to the accelerator menu and convert it back to a text box, which is easier to I have the aspect ratio checked. I can uncheck that, and now we can change the text box to whatever shape we want. We can always take the frame of the text box out by going into our text colors. That's the outline color or the border color, and say no color, and that would take away the box. It will still stay a box, but without a color for the box. We can do spell check if we have to. We've covered that. Or we can use the text-to-speech feature. So it's a quick access to the text-to-speech feature. That's all for object manipulation and object properties. Thank you very much.